After about 2 months of traveling around China, we have finally arrived in the capital city. But it has not been as pleasant as we expected.
We are Juli and Trevor, and we are traveling the world for more than a year, and right now we are in Beijing.
And the home of the Forbidden City and the Great Wall of China. But we're pretty sick.
Yep.
Bad planning, I guess.
It's a lot of people, and it's still like before 9 a.m.
Like, we can't even find a place to really like sit and relax for a second. What a ridiculous thing to do. It's definitely worth it. Well, hello.
Hi.
We are here in Beijing, finally, after traveling all over the rest of China. We're finally in the capital here, but unfortunately, not the best timing. We're both feeling a little sick, and we rested most of the day today, and we're planning to do some of our big things tomorrow, but honestly, for tonight, we're just kind of taking an easy night.
Yeah, like high fever.
Yeah.
Let's rest.
Yeah. And we've got a lot to see in Beijing and only a few days to do it, because Beijing is relatively expensive compared to the rest of China. So, and it's a public holiday soon. So a lot of things are lining up to make this maybe, I don't know, not the best time to be here.
Yeah, it's really sad.
But yeah, well, there's nothing we can do about it. So tonight we are here at the 798 Art Zone, which is like one of the old factory districts that they've renovated over the past few decades to become like a artistic little area with like workshops and cafes and restaurants and things like that. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, and a lot of like galleries and exhibitions.
Yeah, yeah. So something we can do today, just to kind of relax, check out the city a little bit, but not too tiring.
Yeah.
Let's see what this place is all about. We've kind of just been exploring around, following some music. There seems to be some kind of film festival going on right now. I don't know. It's like a little theater stage.
We are in Beijing, and this artistic place who have like a lot of restaurant and cafe, and we couldn't resist. It's something different. For a long time we was eating like Chinese food. Find this like hot dog place who is pretty affordable. 20 yuan. Let's try. We get the classic. Sausage. I like orange. Really good.
Yeah, it seems like this place is a little more lively during the daytime and not so much happening at night, at least not tonight.
Yeah. Like we can tell this each like doors is some little artist gallery, and it's already closed.
Yeah.
And yeah, tonight it's not so much people. I don't know how it was during the daytime.
Yeah.
Because we wasn't here.
Because we were sick.
Yeah, I was resting. But yeah, the one we went to in Chengdu was, yeah, way more alive. There were way more people, like smaller too.
Yeah, much smaller, but smaller, but more active at night.
Yeah, but the same idea, this old factory where they're turning into repurposing repurposing the location into like arts and new restaurants and cafes. It's really nice.
Yeah.
But they keep this like factory architecture, so it's really cool to see like how was in the past and how is now.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, I think maybe a place to check out during the daytime.
Yeah.
Next time. But we're gonna head back and get a little rest because we got a big day ahead of us tomorrow. Well, good morning.
Bom dia.
We're out here exploring Beijing today in the daytime. We're still feeling a little sick, both of us, although starting to feel a little better. Got some good rest last night and got up early to do some exploring. But today's Monday and pretty much all of the major sites are closed.
Yep.
So that means no Forbidden Palace, no museum, no, basically most of the things we want to see. So we saw that the Temple of Heaven, which is the big round building, is open on Mondays. So we headed over here and we're here in the park right now, which is really pretty, really beautiful.
Yeah. The park is open, but the main temple is closed on a Monday too.
Yeah. So we can go into the park and we can see the temples at least, but yeah, we can't go into the temples.
Yeah. It's really hard to check information, especially because we are using the Chinese map. A map, not using the Google map at all. But yeah. Open times and hours and days is all unclear sometimes here.
Yeah. Like on a map it said the Temple of Heaven was open, but like it's not like detailed enough to say like the park is open but the temples are closed. Granted, it's kind of on us for not doing as much research on these places as we could have.
Yeah.
And we're also trying to like pack this all into a few days, which we weren't originally planning to do. When we decided to come to Beijing, we were planning to stay here for longer, but with the price of the hotels and stuff, especially during the holiday weekend or holiday week, it's pretty crazy. And so we kind of like, we're kind of rushed, which is not great.
I'm getting worried because in 2 days it will be the holiday week.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be even busier. But we have today, so we're going to try and enjoy a little bit of the park and see some pretty cool buildings. The first building here near the entrance is the Fasting Palace, which is, like everything else, closed today, so we can't go in. But it is kind of interesting. So apparently the emperor would twice a year move from the Forbidden City all the way over here. It's not that far, but it would be this big procession through the streets of Beijing as they moved like the entire retinue all the way over to this area, the Temple of Heaven. And they would do this so that they could do some prayers for like good harvests and things like that. But while they were here, I believe they would stay here in the Fasting Palace and they would sort of fast for a while. I say fasting because basically they would not eat meat, which I guess is a type of fasting, although maybe not as extreme as I usually think about it. But during that time they would fast and prepare for the main ceremony, which would take place at the larger temple buildings, the halls, which we're going to see next. Yeah, kind of interesting. Wish we could look inside.
Just walking to this area, the park is huge. This is like even bigger than Forbidden City. And we are like already walking for minutes and can't see any beauty. It's this like trees and a lot of flowers. It's really beautiful.
It does feel like this would be a good place to just like kind of come and hang out for an afternoon if you're a local. Other than the cost, I guess, of entering. But yeah. It doesn't feel like we're in the city right now.
Yeah. we can't see any tall building, can't feel like any noise of like the city. It doesn't feel like we are in Beijing at all.
Yeah.
It's like a really nice park in the heart of Beijing.
Yeah. There's also a couple other buildings, a couple other like temple areas in this main park area. The smaller ones, maybe less famous, are the Vault of Heaven, which is the smaller round building, and this large circular altar, which is just like a big marble open-topped sacrificial altar where I believe they used to sacrifice animals to pray for a good harvest. Now on the map also we see some signs for like the divine kitchen and the like animal sacrifice preparation area, which I believe are these buildings over here, which also we can't go into, but right next to the altar here. So yeah, it seems like they were doing some animal sacrifices to hope for a good harvest that year.
Yeah, I think it's the first time I hear in like Chinese religion they sacrifice. It's interesting. Yeah, I never hear that before.
Yeah, we've seen some like sacrifice places. I think maybe one in Pingyao, but we didn't really hear much about it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah, if you know more about how that worked, then let us know
Yeah.
down in the comments. Now, finally, we're heading to the main building on this site, which is the Hall of Prayer for Good Harvest. And it's pretty much like the landmark of Beijing as far as I can tell, besides maybe the Forbidden Palace. But if you're looking at like artwork or stickers or postcards or anything, it always shows up. So I'm actually pretty excited to see it. And yeah, it's got this big long walkway heading over there. So yeah, let's see if we can actually get close enough to see the real building, even though it's close.
It's beautiful, just outside.
Well, as I was afraid of, it's going to be pretty hard to actually see this building even from outside, which is a shame because we had to pay to get into the park. It was about 15 yuan just for the park, not including the buildings. But I was hoping we could at least get a view of the buildings, but it's...
Yeah, they have this great wall entrance with this like massive door who is closed, so it's blocking the temple.
There is a little crack in the door though, so maybe we can take a quick little video. Sneaky pictures. Man, it's just such a bummer. I was really excited to see this building. I've been seeing it all over like China on like little things. I was really excited to see it, but
We can come back.
I don't know. Well, bad planning, I guess.
No worries, we have 10 years visa. We can come back anytime to China
That's true.
in 10 years.
It's very true.
Let's come back.
All right, well, you can kind of see it right there through the trees from the west gate a little bit. It's not nearly as impressive a view as I was hoping for, but it is there. It is really pretty. Yeah, definitely if you're planning to come to Beijing, plan to not do sightseeing on a Monday. In fact, you probably don't even need to be in Beijing on a Monday at all. Everything's closed.
请到护栏外拍照，谢谢您的配合。尊敬的游客您好，请勿在拍照时翻越护栏，为了您安全，请到护栏外拍照，谢谢您的配合。
It's kind of funny seeing everyone like struggle to get that one little like corner shot of the building. I mean, like me, I understand the struggle, but it is kind of funny to see.
At least we can enjoy the garden and have a lot of flowers like this beautiful wisteria here. And I think it's not that crowded. The normal days will be. We didn't see any tour group, so it's really relaxing to just walk around. And we're like 6, so it's like it's a good enough like amount of people for us to just chill around.
Good morning. As you can see, Julie's feeling a little bit sick today. So I was sick the first day. Yesterday we were both okay, but everything was closed. Today, Julie's sick, but we're here in Tiananmen Square. Because today is the only day we can really do sightseeing. So Julie's just gonna have to power through it. Well, we just arrived in the square. We're on the north side of the square, next to some traffic. There's like more of the square to see, a little to the south here. But actually, we're gonna just quickly move through it and try to get to the Forbidden City because we still need to buy tickets. We've heard that usually you need to make a reservation, but if you're a foreign tourist, because it's like almost impossible to book a ticket in advance on the site. We tried, didn't work.
Like 8 p.m., 5 minutes.
Yeah.
You have to do.
You have about 5 minutes, the site gets overloaded and then it doesn't allow you to pop in and then you're done.
Great.
So yeah. So apparently they have some special rule where we can buy tickets at the gate, but it's gonna be a long line and we want to get in early. So we're gonna see. It's about, what, 8 o'clock?
Yeah. No, 7:40, yeah. 8 o'clock.
7:40. So
Oh, maybe we can pass
let's see if we can get in.
it.
All right, here we go. That's Tiananmen Gate. And I think they just opened the doors. It's a little early, but the line is moving.
Yeah.
And it is a line, let me tell you.
Then is a great wall thing. Just one stop.
Yeah. On the other side of that gate, there's like a little inner courtyard. And I don't exactly know where we're gonna buy tickets, but I believe since we're doing like foreigner day of tickets, there's gonna be a separate line for us. But yeah, it's kind of hard to find and see. All right, turns out before we enter the actual palace, in this little courtyard between Tiananmen Square and the palace front gates, there is a little ticket office, ticket service. The line's pretty small right now. But looks like it's not even open yet, which makes sense. It's 8:01 right now. And they're opening the gates, opening the doors. Okay, so the line to buy the tickets is not very long, but there's gonna be a huge line to get through security once we do. Well, the ticket booth opened at exactly 8:30, so we were standing in line for about half an hour. But we were in front of the line because we got there early, so we got the ticket pretty quick. But now we've got another line to wait in to get through security.
Yeah.
At least this time we've got a good view though.
Yeah. They do ask you to sign a paper, like we tried to buy online or we don't have like this online system, blah blah blah. But you can buy the ticket on the day you come.
Okay.
I thought the Terracotta Army was the craziest and crowdest, but I think the Forbidden City way. It is crazy. I don't know if it's because already on the holiday week or it's always like that, but it's a lot of people and it's still like before 9 a.m.
Woo! All right, we made it through the gate. It only took about an hour. It's 9 o'clock. That hour though includes like waiting at the ticket office for about half an hour before they open. But now we're here. It is busy, busy.
Where to go?
Yeah, now I don't know where to go. So I believe there's like a couple different galleries and like things to see. And I'm pretty sure our ticket includes all of them. There's some slightly different prices for different things. But yeah, first off is this big open courtyard. This main first outer courtyard looks like it has like two big halls on either side. One is a hall of like literary brilliance, I think is what it was called. So like the education, the like intelligence side. And then the other side across is the Hall of Martial Valor. So before we get into the center of the Forbidden City, there's a couple little side places to see. I don't know if there's much in there, but let's check it out. And just this little like side section is like huge. It's like as big as a normal like park in other places.
Yeah, I thought I'd just exit, but you're still in the same park.
Yeah, it's massive. I mean, I can't even, there's trees and stuff in the middle, so I can't even see the other wall. And this is just like the little side area.
The pillars details is all like painted with like some dragons. It's really impressive. And this is not even the main one. It's like the side small building.
So this one is the Hall of Literary Glory. I think that different translations of that, but basically this is where they would have reviewed the imperial examinations and things like that and gone over student records, kind of the academic side of the palace, which was pretty important back then, still today, but not imperial, I guess. The Forbidden City complex here was originally built during the Ming Dynasty, so I think the date was about 1420, somewhere around there, about 600 years ago. So this is pretty old, but not as old as like Xi'an or something, but still this whole complex survives today. And that's partly because it was used not just by the Ming Dynasty for a few hundred years, but following that by the Qing Dynasty as well, which was the last kind of imperial dynasty of China. And then during the Republican era, they really worked to preserve it, even in spite of some clashes during the Cultural Revolution. They ended up saving the palace complex and a lot of the articles inside, and that's why it became a museum. Well, today they call it the Palace Museum because it's mostly just a collection of these beautiful buildings and things that were left behind by the old emperors. Our next stop is right on the other side of the courtyard from the Literary Hall, and this is the Hall of Martial Valor, so the kind of the opposite, the war side of the palace. I think it's really cool. It's one thing I like in all of the places we've been to in China is kind of that like balance of things. Like it's very square, clearly laid out, north, south, east, west, the military on one side, the arts on the other. It's, I don't know, it's very satisfying. Unlike the other side, this Martial Valor Hall actually has some museums open to people, so they have some things on display. I believe some ceramics, maybe some furniture. So let's take a look. Interesting, they like have this extra little side thing happening, a little exhibition, something about gardens, and it was free to enter. We just had to register, but we could register right at the gate. So yeah, it works. And one of the sponsors is the Hong Kong Jockey Club, which if you watched our Hong Kong video, we went and saw the jockeys do their thing in Hong Kong. So that's kind of cool.
Art Institute of Chicago.
Ooh. Let's see what this is all about. It's only a temporary exhibit, so it's only here for about 2 or 3 months. So we haven't seen inside the exhibition yet, but coming up here means we get a nice view from the wall, which I didn't think we were going to get to do. So it's pretty cool. The building inside is beautiful itself.
That part is beautiful. Look, you have some gold. All the marble itself is some detail with gold and make like more special.
Oh yeah. That exhibition was actually really cool. It's got like a bunch of different art and writings about gardens and enjoying gardens and serene life. But also we get to walk up on the walls above the Meridian Gate and see all the people who haven't gotten in yet. Next, we're gonna finally head further into the inner circle. We're gonna head through this, which is called the Gate of Supreme Harmony, and then in to see the Hall of Supreme Harmony, which was kind of the main ceremonial center of the Forbidden City. It's where they did enthronements and weddings and things like that, especially during the Qing Dynasty. Actually, funny story about these buildings, well, I think it's kind of funny. In the Ming Dynasty, when they were originally built, they had a different name. They were called the Imperial Supremacy Buildings, something along those lines. But after the Qing took over, they wanted to really, change the perception of the imperial throne. So they changed the names of a bunch of different sites around here to be more about, harmony, balance, things like that. So yeah, now they're called the Supreme Harmony Gate and Hall, but not always. This is really the center of the Forbidden City. It's actually literally at the center of the Forbidden City. It's on the main axis between east-west and north-south. So yeah, this is where pretty much everything would have happened here, at least the important bits. It feels really like kind of strange to be here. I mean, I've been in a few different palaces or forts or city walls here in China already over the past few months, but this is just massive. It's a whole other scale. In fact, I think this building here is the largest wooden structure that still survives today in all of China. So it's pretty impressive. I want to take a closer look. Here in the central kind of courtyard area behind the Hall of Supreme Harmony is this Hall of Central Harmony and the Hall of Preserving Harmony. It's very harmony based here.
Maybe this one we can see the throne.
Oh yeah, all three of them have thrones inside for the emperor. I believe the biggest one is in that first hall, but Unfortunately today it's really bright out, so it's really hard to see the throne inside the building. But there's just so much here. I mean, so many people and so many buildings and things to see. It's kind of overwhelming. I don't know. I like it, but wow, it's a lot. Definitely don't think. I'm definitely glad we came early in the morning to see as much as we could, and I don't think we're gonna see everything here. It's just too much to cover. It's a whole city.
If this is not the holiday yet, I can't imagine how it will be on the holiday here. Crazy!
Yeah, I think the big national holiday week is coming up, like starting day after tomorrow. So it's kind of got holiday vibes, but it's not like the peak yet. Yeah, this is a lot. So around the main buildings of the Forbidden City, the central buildings, there are also a couple little older buildings with museums and galleries and things in them. Treasures and all kinds of things. We're gonna stop in a few and check them out, but since we're not feeling so great, I think we're not gonna worry too much about seeing everything. Just try and see the most kind of important things to us, and then maybe head on out.
Explaining if you are not the emperor, supposed to be seen.
It's one big piece.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
This way, please.
Alright, we finally made it to the far north side, which is the Imperial Garden. And I tell you, it looks pretty, but it's definitely not a relaxing, tranquil place to be right now, at least. It's so busy here, I think, like we can't even find a place to really like sit and relax for a second. But I mean, honestly, like the trees here especially are really beautiful. Really like, I don't know, old and knotted and twisting, really cool. And just after the Imperial Garden is the last little courtyard and the last gate. And as it says here, our visit ends here. Well, we've officially made it all the way back around to Tiananmen Square.
Yes.
It was a long walk. The Forbidden City is really big. So we had to walk all the way around to get back here. But yeah, even with our reservation for this morning, they let us come back in. Whew. It's pretty windy. It probably doesn't sound very good. This square here is way bigger than I expected it to be. Like, it's this huge open area. This was already a big square during the Qing Dynasty because it's right next to the Forbidden City. But they ended up expanding it over the decades after the Qing Dynasty fell. And actually this is where Mao Zedong declared the founding of the People's Republic of China in 1949, I believe. And so it holds pretty important significance here in the country. There's also a ton of security outside. Well, not just outside, but also the security cameras inside the park they're all over the place if you're looking.
The most security check.
Yeah, and it's the most security, like the most thorough security checks that we've been through basically since the airport here in China. Like they do pat downs and things like that just to enter the square, which I understand, but it's interesting. This is also a very, very important place for a number of historical events, which I'm not going to discuss right here, but I'm sure you can find them if you search. You should probably search. But the square is also home to some of the other big buildings. There's the People's Hall, which is behind me here. And on the other side is the Chinese National Museum, I believe. The Beijing National Museum, which we were going to try to go to, but I believe you require a reservation to get in there as well, which we don't have today. So I'm not sure we're going to be able to, and honestly, I don't think we feel really up for it after checking the Forbidden City as well. Also, on the south side of the square is Mao's mausoleum, which was built, I think, a little more recently, obviously, after he passed. Wow, this place is actually really impressive, just the scale of it. It's so big. And the buildings on either side also are just so big. It's kind of just impressive just for that. But it makes it feel like a little empty almost. I mean, partly because it's limited. You have to reserve your spot to come in, and there's checking IDs and stuff. So it's like not like everyone could just show up. But also maybe just because it's a normal day, I guess there's not that many people here relative to how big it is. So it feels like kind of empty. It's also funny, you can see, because it's kind of hot and sunny, people are like lining up in the shadows of like these poles and light posts.
Actually, the sun changed.
Oh.
And my leg is getting on the sun.
Yeah, we're starting to we gotta scooch back into the shady spot. There aren't really any like benches or anything around to hang out in. It's not exactly, seems like it's not exactly a place to come hang out. I'm sure on like a national holiday or something, there's like a ton happening here. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to see, especially knowing the history here. But yeah, I think that means we're done for today. Yeah. We're gonna recover back in our hotel. Starting to feel pretty bad sick-wise, and also just there's this pollen stuff in the air today, this past week.
The spring.
It makes us a little sniffly.
Yeah.
And tomorrow we're gonna head a little bit further north, just north of Beijing itself, for a little more adventure. Something I've been really excited to do for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Bon dia.
Well, today we are way out of Beijing. We traveled about 5 hours by multiple buses.
Public transportation yesterday.
To get to our hotel out here next to the Great Wall of China. Actually, today we're visiting a specific section of the Great Wall. It's Jinshanling, which is supposed to be one of the least crowded sections, and has a lot of still unrenovated or original sections of the wall, which is why we wanted to see it. So it's a bit of a hassle to get here. Definitely.
Yeah, that's why not so much people come.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, we're pretty excited. We've been seeing little sections, little like strips of the wall and little towers as we've been driving up through here.
It's really cool.
It's really cool to see. But yeah, soon we're gonna be able to get onto the main walkable section. Let's see what it's like. I'm excited. All right, we just entered the park officially. The tickets were about 65 yuan per person for this section. Plus we paid about 20 yuan for the round trip shuttle bus. The shuttle bus from the entrance to this main middle section where we are was really short. So I don't know if that was worth it, but I believe we're gonna walk from the middle all the way to one end, and from there catch the shuttle bus back, which I believe will be worth it.
Yeah. And the wall is like 10 kilometers, so it was like, we know today we will be walking a lot, so let's pay a little extra for the shuttle bus to get closer.
Yeah. So yeah, it's...
Usually we don't pay, but today we know we'll be walking a lot.
I think it'll probably be worth it today. And now that we're getting up close, we get our first glimpse of this section of the wall. Here. No, I gotta move. Yeah, it's right up there. This section, by the way, also does have a cable car up from the like this more touristy walkable section all the way up to the top, but it doesn't look that far. So we're not gonna take the cable car, we're just gonna hike it. Actually, it's pretty cold down in the valley, but now that we're getting up here, higher up, it's getting pretty warm. I might need to switch hats.
Wow.
All right, we made it to our first tower here. Bit of a walk. We're just not used to it, especially higher up in the mountains. So yeah, check it out. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow. Here, here.
Wow.
Hang on, let's see. All right, we've got a long walk ahead of us. We'll get all the way to the other section. So let's get started. These steps are kind of crazy, like really steep. It's kind of like slanted too. This first section of the wall where we're on is the most restored part of the Jin Shanling section, I believe. So most of this brickwork is actually more modern. I think you can see it pretty well on this side. But there are some sections of this wall that are more or less in their original state still, which is why I wanted to come check this out. You can see some of them already from across the way. Woo. I don't think we're at the top yet, but we finally got our first really long view of the rest of the wall out through this little archery part.
Maybe it's hard to see on the camera. Wow.
So in this section of the wall alone, there are about 67 separate towers, plus I believe 3 different beacon towers, which would have been used to light fires or smoke to send signals up and down the wall. And I believe a few different passes as well, which would have been low points where they built like a gatehouse or something. That's just for this section alone, which is about 10 kilometers. But the Great Wall in general stretches about 21,000 kilometers from the ocean all the way to the Gobi Desert. Of course, a lot of that is in disrepair or doesn't even exist anymore just because of erosion and things like that. But at least these sections, the Ming Dynasty sections, which are the more modern, although they're still about 600 years old, is about 8,000 kilometers near here, closer to Beijing. This little section is really interesting. So they have this steep section of the stairs here where obviously many people would have been setting up and defending from the north there. But because it's so steep, if you were on the ground, you would actually be able to shoot up over the wall here and potentially hit people on the wall here. So to counter that, they've built like little partitions, little like side walls to protect not only out from the wall, but also down from the stairs. I think that's really genius. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. You're hiding there?
I was looking at you from here.
Oh.
Sorry.
Sorry? It's like double defense system. There's also some towers we can really go inside and check out. It's pretty cool.
Oh, my hair is messy, but I don't care. It's so fun here. So cool. Oh, it's a little shop place.
Yeah, there we go. I think we can go upstairs on this tower. Wow. Yeah. It's really impressive just how like far this wall goes. Like if you look closely, you can see certain sections just climbing up these distant mountains over here. Now, pretty much from its inception, it was always built for the same reason, which was to keep the people inside the wall safe from the more nomadic, horse-riding people to the north of the wall. But it wasn't always very successful. In fact, the dynasty before the Ming Dynasty, who built this section of the wall, was actually founded by Kublai Khan, the great-grandson, I believe, of Genghis Khan. I'm just realizing, like, what a ridiculous thing to do. To build this thing. It must have cost so much in terms of the materials and the manpower, probably deaths. Wow, it's just, I mean, it's impressive. And I'm sure it was very effective for a long time. But, man. After a while, this section of the wall definitely like starts to get less and less renovated. You can really see how some of the walls have fallen off and some of the like walkways are still broken up. So yeah. According to our research, these walls, these bricks, were actually put together with a mortar made from rice and lime. Well, not the fruit, but the chemical. And I'm just really impressed that they've held together this long. I mean, it's over 600 years old, and I don't know how much of this is actually original or renovated, but I mean, the walls are still standing, so some of that mortar must be holding tight.
I think this part of the wall already less people because we saw the cable car route over there and many people already finish and get the cable car back, and this unrenovated part is way less people.
This section is also just so beautiful. Like, we haven't seen the other sections of the wall, the ones that are more popular or more crowded, but I don't know, I think it must be kind of hard to beat this.
We was sick and the thing was not going well. We had like really bad beginning in Beijing, but coming up here is so good and I'm feeling much better today, and I'm glad we are keeping doing it.
I think it was definitely worth it to like power through, get all of that sightseeing done. It was wonderful and nice, but we wanted to get that done before the big rush so that we could come out here and still enjoy a little bit of like the peaceful side of the Great Wall as well. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, and surprisingly, actually today already is a Labor Day, right? It's a holiday.
Yeah.
But I think these sections is really not underrated, but the less crowded one. And I'm really happy we choose this one. I think is I can't say the best one because I've never been to another Great Wall sections, but this is really beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm glad we choose this one.
Yeah. And especially at this point, now that we've gotten towards the unrenovated section or less renovated section, there's really not that many people on here. I mean, you can see there's like a few people climbing in front of us, and yeah, it's pretty nice. We're almost to our last little bit of this section here. I think we just have a few more towers to go, and it looks relatively flat. I mean, compared to what we did before, but still a lot of up and down to go. Honestly, I think my favorite part of this section of the wall is just how like ruined it is. I mean, that sounds a little weird, but compared to some of the other reconstructions that we've seen, like having this real section of this old wall still be here and obviously be crumbling means, I don't know, it feels different. It doesn't feel as glossed over.
And I think feel more interesting too, because it's not, oh, another tower is all the same, renovated, perfect. It's like, wow, it's like different. Each one have their own characteristic, and it's not tired really to see. It's really good. Definitely more dangerous to walk here because the step is like not renovated at all. So you can see. Wow. Woo.
Well, after a few hours of hiking along this magnificent thing, we are almost to the end, at least for this section. There is a little bit more heading off to the east here, which is in its original condition, so no renovations at all. And we're gonna check it out a little bit, but there's no exit on that side, so we have to come back here to get out of the park. Good morning.
Bom dia.
Well, today is our final day here in Beijing and our last day in China.
Yeah, it was a great 2 months.
Yeah, the ending Beijing was a little bit rough at first, but definitely worth it in the end, especially the Great Wall.
Yeah, really recommend the Great Wall. Was really incredible, and our first seven wonder of the New World.
Well, yeah, okay,
Together.
yeah, together. And some people consider the Terracotta Army maybe the eighth wonder.
Yeah, so we did two.
Maybe. But either way, like even being a little sick, even getting a little like sniffly, a lot of cool things to see here in Beijing, and I'm sure there's a lot more to do if we had more energy and more time. But yeah, we've got a lot more to see. So right now we're at the airport and we are gonna catch that tiny little plane out there and head a little bit further north to our next country. But we'll save that for next time. So if you like what we're doing here, then please feel free to like our channel and our video, and if you want to support us even further, you can check out our Patreon down below. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and
see you at our next destination.
ciao.
Ciao.